What's up? Happy Red Friday to all of you. What's going on? Farzine Vasugan here with you on a Red Friday. Hope you're all having a good day. It's the weekend. It's Friday. Yeah, we're doing this a little earlier than usual. But nonetheless, we are here. We are here for the Red Friday Q&A live chat. I'll start off kind of giving you guys just some thoughts going into this game and some other news and notes around the NFL. And then I turn it over to you guys. Yeah, I hand off the ball to you guys. Now, let's hope you guys can run the ball a little bit better. Definitely going to need you guys to run the ball here and do it very well, because that's when I turn it over to you guys and you guys ask me whatever you want to ask me. You guys want to talk some Chiefs? You guys want to talk about the running game, the wide receivers, the defense, the Giants? You guys want to talk Thursday Night Football, what we saw last night? You guys want to talk about anything else around the NFL? Or you want to go far out of bounds and talk whatever you want to do? Hey, we've done that before. We'll chat about all of that here on the Red Friday Q&A live chat. That's what we do here. Hell yeah. All right. So I will start things off here. And I do want to touch on the game one last time between the Chiefs and the Giants. Listen, I called last week's game a must-win game for the Chiefs. Why did I call it a must-win game? Because with the division seemingly stepping up, everyone in the AFC West was 1-0 except for the Chiefs. The Chiefs could not afford an 0-2 start. I thought Denver was going to be 2-0. They were, one mishap at the end of the game away from becoming 2-0. And then you have the Raiders and the Chargers. Someone was going to go 2-0 there. I said that Denver was cutting the gap, the deficit between 1 and 2 in the AFC West. Well, for right now, the Chiefs are on the bottom of the AFC West. And when you look at the Chiefs and what they need to do, they've got to eliminate mental errors. What was Romeo Crennel's mantra when he was in Kansas City? Eliminate bad football. Now, I know using Romeo Crennel as any kind of model is not good, but that mantra that he had during his time in Kansas City, it holds true right now, does it not? I think if the Chiefs do eliminate those mental errors, they can find a way to get rid of that and play smart, play mature. I think that's really going to start to turn things around. We can do the coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you can do that for a lot of games. And it doesn't really do anyone any good. Moving forward, I think you can look back at these two games and see what went right and how you can fix those problems and turn those into positives. And I think if you can find a way to do that, you'll start winning more football games. I don't want to put the entire game on Travis Kelce like a lot of people are doing, because I don't think that's fair. I don't think I've said this many times. Football games are not won and lost because of one player, one individual. That's never how it works. This whole thing with Travis Kelce, pretty bad timing to screw up. And listen, there's never a good time for an interception, especially for it to go off of your Hall of Fame tight end's hands. Never. But the way you look at this Chiefs team right now, I just feel like they'll figure it out. We're relying on that, right? Because they have figured it out in the past. They had an 0-2 start in 2014, and they actually got better. Unfortunately, they ran into that 3-game losing streak, and that prevented them from being able to step up and do anything the rest of the year. When you look at 2015, they started 1-5, losing 5 straight games, only 2-11 in a row, including the wild card game against Houston, and they won their first playoff game in 22 years. 2021. Chiefs were 3-4. That's not a horrible start, but by Kansas City standards, that's certainly not at all the expectation. And a lot of people wrote the Chiefs off that year. I mentioned to you guys earlier this week, the Patriots were written off in 2014 and 2017 when they got off the slow starts those 2 years. And people wrote off the Patriots. Everyone wrote off the Patriots. Even people in New England wrote off the Patriots. So Oh, by the way, the Patriots went on to win the Super Bowl both of those years. So I think everyone just needs to relax a little bit because I mean, hearing all of these things about coaching and Kelsey needs to do this, and I get that. I'm certainly not dismissing none of that. But I feel like with the Chiefs right now, a couple of really key mistakes here, and they're 2-0. Because if Kelsey doesn't, and I know I don't like to use if so much, but if Kelsey does not commit that mistake with the not being able to hold on to the football, if Chris Jones does not allow Justin Herbert to run for that many yards, or if the Chiefs offense got off to a much better start, Kansas City could be 2-0 right now. And all this talk about, oh my God, the coaching staff has the game gotten past Andy Reid, even though the Chiefs have just been to three straight Super Bowls. Like, all of those conversations are not happening right now. I would entertain the idea of, has the game gotten past Andy Reid? I would entertain that if the Chiefs got blown out in these last two games. I'd be sitting here wondering, can the Chiefs even compete if they're getting their butts kicked by two teams that made the playoffs last year? One of them being a Chargers team who you beat twice last year, and the other an Eagles team who you faced in the Super Bowl. So I think a lot of people maybe just need to calm down a bit. Temperature's pretty high right now. It is. A lot of people feeling down about the Chiefs. I know immediate reactions in the moment, that can be a thing as well. But I trust the Chiefs will figure it out. I think they're going to win on Sunday night. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think the Chiefs will cover the spread. Satish Shah, my good friend, former New York-based sports radio and podcast host, was on with me Wednesday night. He is really confident that the Chiefs are going to blow out the Giants. If you haven't had a chance, please listen to that conversation. It's a great conversation with Satish Shah. But I don't think the Chiefs will. I don't think they cover the spread, but they will win. And I'm not really going to make too big of a deal of the win. I'll make a bigger deal if the Chiefs lose. I'll make a really big deal if the Chiefs win the following week against Baltimore. That, I think, these next two games here, what are they going to tell us? I don't think beating the Giants is going to tell you much. You're expected to beat the Giants. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Yeah, I know Russell Wilson coming off a career day, right now leading the league in passing yards, but this Giants team is leading the NFL in rushing yards allowed. As far as points allowed, let me check that real quickly. I know this is a New York team that hasn't gotten off to a really good start defensively. People want Shane Powers out of New York. So the Giants have allowed 61 points so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the sixth most, tied for the sixth most. Excuse me. Also tying the Dallas Cowboys of all teams, the team that they just lost to. What do you know? So beating New York is not going to tell you too much. And by the way, yes, I know Russell is coming off a career game, but the week before, the Giants were completely quiet. And I've said this many times. I don't think you can get a good grasp on what a football team looks like or what kind of team they are until we're 3 weeks fully into the season. And I think we'll find out pretty soon. The problem with the Giants, I mean, they've got all sorts of problems. And I think Dallas has a really bad defense too. The Ravens, on the other hand, I mean, they look hot. They look like one of the best teams in football right now. This is a team that had Buffalo up against the wall, and I don't want to say they had complete control of that game Sunday night in week 1, but they were in the driver's seat up until the 5-minute mark when Derrick Henry fumbled, or whenever that was. So I think if you're Kansas City, you got to win this game against New York, because if you don't, this is where things start to get really interesting. Forget about the commentary outside of the football team. I'm just thinking of within the organization, because if you can't beat New York, if you lose to the Chargers and the Eagles, two playoff teams that came down to one possession games. Okay, whatever. You lose to the Giants by 1 point or 1,000,000 points. Boy, there's going to be a lot of questions. A lot of self-reflecting that needs to start happening. I mean, it's going to be gut check time at that point. So Kansas City, I do trust will win on Sunday. Beating Baltimore the following Sunday, boy, if Kansas City can win that game against Baltimore, the record will be 2-2, but I kind of view it as a whole new season for the Kansas City Chiefs. 1-3, certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. You can't dismiss that. But boy, would it be something if the Chiefs win these next two games? Beating Baltimore is going to be a statement game. Beating the Giants, I don't care if you win by 50. You're not making any statement by doing that. All you're doing is preventing an 0-3 start. So go out there and win this game against the Giants. I don't care by how much. Stay healthy. That's the most important thing. And then get ready to play a dangerous Baltimore team that's been very good. And I know they lost that first game in embarrassing fashion, giving up that big lead, but this is still a very good Baltimore Ravens football team, regardless your opinion on them so far. So that's what's at stake for the Chiefs right now going into week 3. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatever is on your mind on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, please comment below. I will get to your questions and comments as we go on throughout the night. So I want to hear from you guys. Get your questions in, and we'll chat it up, as I like to say. Couple of things I do want to get into. The Tom Brady thing. I mentioned this earlier, but I'll say it again because it's still getting talked about as the week goes on, and it's a big deal right now because we saw him in the booth, the coach's booth Monday night with the headset on. The NFL actually posted a video of that, and then they quickly deleted it. The reason this is a really big deal right now is because Brady is announcing the Chicago Bears game this Sunday. And the following week, the Raiders and the Bears play each other. Of course, Brady is going to give information to the Bears, whatever he can. He's a minority owner of the Raiders. You have to. But here's my thing. And I think this is where this whole Brady situation is being blown out of proportion. Brady cannot give information to the Raiders as long as you don't share information. And let's back up. Forget about the fact that Tom Brady is a minority owner of the Raiders. Let's just say Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. They're announcers. They don't have ownership stake in any other team. Yeah, I mean, Tony Romo has his loyalties with the Cowboys because that's the team that gave him an opportunity and whatnot. But a lot of color commentators are in that same position. But let's just say this was Jim Nantz and Tony Romo announcing the Bears game on Sunday. Or just any team. It's up to the teams to not give anything away. Tom Hedrick, who is a former mentor of mine, super, super nice guy. In fact, where's his book? There it is, right here. Got his book right here. Signed it, met him at KU. If you guys are in college, high school, or if you guys have kids who want to become sports broadcasters, specifically play-by-play, this book you want it by Tom Hedrick, The Art of Sportscasting. So my mom got this for me when I was in high school. One of the greatest books, and by one of the, for those who don't know Tom Hedrick, he called Super Bowls 1, 3, and 4 for CBS radio. So he was, for the longest time, he was one of the very few people who was present for the 2 Super Bowls the Chiefs had been president prior to Patrick Mahomes. And he also was the former voice of the Kansas City Chiefs and also the former voice of the Kansas Jayhawks. He used to teach at KU. Some of the people you know in local media today, guys like Bob Fesco, Nate Bucati, he was their professor, and several others. Jason Lamb, a lot of people in the local media. He, last I checked, I believe he's completely done before retirement. He was announcing basketball games for Baker University. You guys all know, for those who live in the area where Baker is. and he was still mentoring college students. When it comes to the KAB Awards, the Kansas Association of Sports Broadcasters, Tom Hedrick, he coached a lot of those guys, and a lot of his students would win play-by-play awards. Anyway, that's who Tom Hedrick is, just to give you an idea. Tom Hedrick told me something a long time ago when he was preparing for those Super Bowls early in the inception of the Super Bowl era. The coaches would actually hand you the game plan. They would actually tell you what they want to do. Now, is any coach doing that today? Hell no, they're not. Because with social media and smartphones, see how those lenses right there on that smartphone with taking a quick picture. And here's one thing that I've kind of wondered, because if players get cut from a team, well, what if during their time with the team, they would take pictures of the playbook? I don't know if we've ever had a situation where that's been a problem, but that's something that's been on my mind. But there's no way you can be afraid of Tom Brady sharing information to the Raiders as long as you do not provide that information. I think this is being blown. No one's talking about this part of it. Like it's almost like somebody asking you specifics about your job. How much money do you make? What's the secret sauce to make your company work? Listen, people can ask whatever they want, but it's up to you if you want to share that information. If you share information to a competitor that you shouldn't be sharing, that's on you. That's not on them for asking you questions. You need to make sure you don't let that secret sauce get out there for them to find if they don't know how to do it. I remember when I was working at 610, they had an app that would allow them to, from the smartphone, they could live stream press conferences. And now there's a whole different way of doing it. But Sports Radio 810 was asking, how are you guys doing this? No one from 610 was going to say shit. So it's really up to you if you want to reveal certain information or not. And whether Tom Brady is a minority owner or not, or whether it's any other announcer, you should not be sharing information you do not want out there. So that's the most important thing. I know in these production meetings, they get pretty comfortable, and sometimes things get said. The more comfortable you get in the conversation. I mean, I guess because Brady is an owner and a broadcaster, the conversations need to be had by the coaching staff and the PR guys from each team that, hey, look, this guy, whether it's him or anybody, we got to keep providing information at a minimum. And I'm listening to Isaiah Pacheco today in his press conference. He's asking, how does Xavier Worthy doing? He had a similar shoulder injury to yours. Pacheco goes, he's good. It looks great. That's it. Pacheco didn't reveal anything that did not need to be out there. Somebody in Wednesday's press conference, and I don't remember the specifics of the question, but they were asking something very detail-oriented about the running game, and Andy Reid's response was, well, in order to answer that, I would have to tell you what the plays are from the playbook. Translation, I'm not giving you details to that. It's a good question, but we're not giving you the specifics to that, because if we answer that question truthfully, we're revealing our game plan. Makes sense, right? It's really up to the coaches and the players if they want to reveal these kinds of things. I mean, listen, we know what's going on with Kansas and Missouri and this whole Chief Stadium thing and the Royals as well. Don't you think Kansas and Missouri, they're both trying to keep conversations private because they don't want to know what the other states, what kind of conversations are being had? Because right now they're competing against each other to try to get the two teams. Of course, they want as much information possible to be held behind closed doors because they don't want the opposition to hear about it. So I think that's something that gets forgotten about in all of this. A couple other notes before I turn it over to you guys. The tush push. Everyone's talking about this. Let me just make it very quick here. So the report is they're going to officiate it very closely. Don't know what that means. I guess they're going to keep a very, very, very close eye at the players not lined up correctly. I don't know. Basically, the way I took that, this is the start of the end of the tush push. And listen, I've given my opinion on this. I know a lot of you guys have your opinions on this. Regardless what our opinions are, I think the tush push is coming to an end now. I think the things that happened this past weekend and even in many other games before that basically spell the end of the brotherly shove, tush push, whatever you want to call it. Eagles will be fine as long as Saquon's still part of the team, as long as they know how to operate a regular QB sneak. They will be just fine. It's not going to be that big of a deal that some people are making it out to be. So that's what's going on there. I mean, come on. They're the Eagles. They'll still be a really good football team at the end of the day. Okay, I do want to get into something that happened last night with Thursday Night Football. Let me put this back. Specifically with Kaylee Hartung. If you guys saw last night's game at the start of the fourth quarter, they mentioned the legal situation that Tyreek Hill is in. One of his exes filing a lawsuit alleging domestic violence, basically. And Kaylee Hartung got detail talking about where he pleaded guilty back in 2014 and so many other instances. It was very interesting because those kinds of reports do not get brought up during games. That is something you hear during pregame shows, not during the start of the fourth quarter or any part of the game. You just don't ever hear that. And I love Al Michaels, his transition to it. He's like, yeah, Hill is no stranger to things off the field. Back to the game. Listen, in these broadcasts, they plan to share certain stories. So, for example, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, I'll use that as an example. Once the nominees from all 32 teams are announced, they will make I shouldn't say they will make an effort, but they will plan a time in the game to announce the two nominees from each team for the game they're broadcasting. They'll say, hey, when we come back from our third commercial break, we're starting off with this after the kickoff or whatever. So the fact that this was part of it's not like they just bring this stuff up randomly in the middle of a game. They have a production meeting and they go through a lot of the game and what they're going to go over for each game. So the fact that Kaylee Hartung and the Thursday Night Football crew approved of this was interesting because we don't ever hear this. I know last year when the Chiefs were playing the first game of the year against the Ravens, during pregame, they mentioned why Rashee Rice was not suspended, and they brought it up during the game as well. That is different because there was already a legal situation ongoing at the time, and they wanted to provide clarity as to why he was playing. Even though everything he did was on camera, they wanted to provide that clarity, which they did. That's totally fine. You're helping the audience get information they might not be aware of, especially if they just casually watch games and hardly ever follow the news on social media or wherever. But boy, Kaylee Hartung and the entire Thursday Night Football broadcast, they're facing a lot of backlash for choosing to just bring this up about Tyreek Hill at the start of the fourth quarter. It was a very interesting time to do that. At the time, I really didn't think much of it. I did think to myself, okay, this is a very interesting time to bring this up because we don't see it like this ever. Like I said earlier, this is something that you usually hear only during pregame. I don't know. I mean, it's not like she's sharing some rumor off Twitter. Like, this is an actual lawsuit that's being filed. This isn't, oh, hey, look what I saw on Reddit from Mikey Smith 696969. Like, this is an actual lawsuit that's been filed here. So it's not like she was reporting anything inaccurate or awful or anything that she would regret for her broadcasting career. I just think the timing, just this something strange. Is that something other broadcasts are going to do if there is a player they're covering that's in legal hot water? I don't know. But that's something a lot of people are reacting to. So there's that. Okay, let's get into it here. I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Ask me whatever you want to ask. You want to talk some Chiefs? You want to talk some Giants? You want to talk some Tyreek Hill? You want to talk Bills, Packers, NFL, non-NFL? Let's do it. Jedi on YouTube says, I won't hit the panic button until they lose to the Giants if they can't beat the Giants. Who is in the next 3 games they can beat? Yeah, the next 3 games are not easy. They play the Ravens afterwards. They play the Jaguars and then the Lions. Yeah, that's not an easy 3-game stretch. And I think Jacksonville, listen, I like Trevor Lawrence, but that Jacksonville team is just not getting going for so many different reasons. Yeah, if you lose to New York, there are a lot of questions to be asked about who this team is and what their identity is. That's why winning, and again, I don't give a shit if it's by 1 point or 100 points. Win on Sunday night. That's all I care about. Beating the Ravens, and again, regardless by how many points, that's going to be the statement game right there. And you could lose to the Jaguars the following week, and there would be questions. But we can look and say, okay, they were able to beat the Ravens. This is a team that will be fine moving forward. So, yeah, beating the Giants certainly. I mean, it's a much more must win than before. You think KC wins easy against New York? Danny's confident. Okay, good. Just the start of the season, they'll figure it out. A lot of you guys feel optimistic. Joey says, if the Giants win, we are in a world of trouble. I agree, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think a lot of people feel the same way that, you got to win this game. Otherwise, the trajectory of the rest of the season's just, it's going to be bad. We need to run it a lot. They have 2 mean pass rushers. Yes, they have a good defensive line. That's really all the positives you can really say about that defense, because they're not a very good defense. They're one of the worst. They're the worst run-stopping defense in the league. And the Chiefs are 17th. Now, more than half of the rushing yards the Chiefs have is because of Patrick Mahomes. But this is a game to get Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco involved. I know one of you guys mentioned Brashard Smith. Yeah, sure. Smith could get involved for all I care. Whoever can go out there and carry the ball and do a good job of it, because the Chiefs need that right now. The Giants, this is a good point by Matthew. I learned this yesterday for the first time during Spag's press conference, because Spags had no idea. The Giants are the only team in the NFL the Kansas City Chiefs have never beaten on the road. Yeah, I had no idea until yesterday about that. That's a fun little trivia for you guys during your get-together Sunday night. If we don't win, consider it a rebuilding year, get a higher draft pick, and get a stud running back. Yeah. I'm not going to say the season's over if they start 0-3, but it's... my guess would be they fall short of the playoffs if you start 0-3. 3-3 or better, and we'll be all right with Rice returning. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we don't know about Xavier Worthy or Jalen Royals yet. They were both listed as questionable. I think Jalen Royals is going to play because he was a full participant the last 2 days. Worthy's been limited all week, and he was limited last week in the 2 practices he took part in as well. My guess is Worthy will play, but it won't be very many snaps. Who is going to replace Kingsley at guard? Well, your only option really right now is Mike Caliendo, unless you like someone out there in free agency or someone you can trade for. Duran says we just need to win. We can't get caught looking at the ball. Yeah, but I'm not a player on the team though. I'm just telling you these next 2 games, what meaning the next 2 weeks have for the Chiefs. That's all I'm trying to say. Brady is a known cheater. He will take any advantage he can get. It's proven. I mean, listen, again, and I understand all the concerns. It is weird that Brady is allowed to do this, but it's still up to the teams to not give away information. Like, you guys could talk to me and say, hey, how much money do you make? What's your social security number? What's the routing number? What's your banking number? I mean, it's up to me as to whether or not I want to give you that information. If I choose to give you my bank information or the passwords to all of my accounts, well, guess what? I have no one to blame but myself because I gave that information to you. So if I get hacked and you take all of my information and all my money, I don't have no one to blame but myself because I gave you that information. Don't give your keys to anyone you do not trust behind the wheel. It's that simple. Jason Kelce was banned from the Chiefs Chargers game. What? Where'd you hear? Robert, did you get that from one of the fake AI Facebook pages, or is that a real thing? I don't know about that one. Why would Jason Kelce be banned? Do you have a warrant for his arrest in Brazil? Like, come on. Push, make it even. If offense can push from behind, defense should. Yeah, I don't disagree. That's been my thing. Instead of focusing on banning it, because I don't think it should be banned. I've said this before. They should allow the defense to do the same thing. Now, I don't know how that would help the defense, but some people think that it would help. So I don't know what the Chiefs were trying to do last year in the Super Bowl with Chris Jones lining up sideways. That was dumb. I'm sorry, it was dumb. I guess you got to try something. Hill having more domestic charges against him. Who the hell is surprised? Yeah. And listen, here's my thing with Tyreek Hill. Like, I don't know what happened. None of us do. But why is he always involved in something? The college incident, the child abuse allegation during his time in Kansas City, him and his agent, they were on a boat somewhere, and I guess there was a physical altercation, allegedly. And another physical altercation, allegedly, in Tyreek Hill's backyard for training with another influencer. We obviously saw the video of him in handcuffs last year. Like, dude, why is he always involved in something? People do not accidentally or just with bad luck find themselves being accused of something over and over and over again. That's not like, this is a pattern, a very serious and a dangerous pattern here. Again, this is not, oh, bad luck, everyone must hate him. No, dude, you've made some terrible choices to get to this point. You're surrounding yourself by the wrong people. And even though you're not in a relationship with some of these baby mamas, they're a part of your life forever because you have a kid with these people. And so you made the choices that you made here. So you've got to live and die. Listen, I made a comment last night and people thought it was funny. I wasn't trying to be rude or funny or any of that, but because people are asking, does Tyreek Hill regret leaving the Chiefs now? Dude, Tyreek Hill's got a bunch of kids. If you're Tyreek Hill, you are very happy with your one sole Super Bowl ring. Because at this point, listen, I don't have any kids. My life is busy and crazy as it is. This guy's got a lot. Like, he could film a movie cheaper by the dozen. And listen, I have friends who have kids. I hear a lot about the expenses, diapers, kids' toys, clothes. Oh, they outgrew it already in 2 weeks. Got to buy new clothes. And then down the line, again, Tyreek's got a bunch of kids. Odds are some of them are going to want to be doctors and go to very expensive colleges. That's going to cost you a lot of money. Like, if you're Tyreek Hill, you're just playing for top dollar the rest of your career so you can live comfortably, being able to afford having a bunch of kids. I don't like to talk about people's personal lives in that matter, but this gets brought up a lot. The last time the Chiefs started 0-3 was 2011. I remember that. Good old Matt Castle. They missed the playoffs. Can they take down the Giants and avoid history? I think so. I think so, Matthew. They'll win. Why haven't you updated your Facebook cover? Updated with a photo of Farzine 2.0 pick? Yeah, I don't know. I probably should. I've heard that if you change your profile picture, it will take away your blue check mark. So it's funny. I get accused of paying for a blue check mark on Facebook. My Facebook was verified well before people could pay to have a blue check mark. So I've heard on Twitter a long time ago, if you were to change your profile picture, the blue check would go away. So I don't know. 1-5 with Alex Smith still made the playoffs. Not worried. Yeah, and the schedule did get really easy, but yeah, still not. I mean, they had a 1.4% chance of making it that year. The playoffs, that is. If we can go 2-4 or 3-3 without Rice, that would be huge. Yeah. A lot of people seem to be banking on Rice coming back, making a big difference. I hope the wide receivers can stay healthy, because if Hollywood and Worthy are healthy, if Royals can start playing and stay healthy, and they're all ready when Rice comes back, boy, this offense will look different. I agree. And hopefully they stay healthy, because that would make a big difference. I agree, for the rest of the season. Friendly reminder, Jawan Taylor now has given us 675 drive-killing, red zone ending penalty yards. Shout out to Jawan. Like, that is impressive, dude. I know on ESPN Countdown, Alex Smith mentioned he's got the most penalties since joining the Chiefs. I didn't realize it was 675 yards. Bro, that's a lot of yards. That's more penalty yards than some players get receiving or rushing yards. That's how impressive that is. Watching Simmons head-to-head against Abdul Carter will be interesting. Yes, that'll be a big test for him. Because like I said, they've got a good defensive line over in New York. What advice do you have to give me? I'm trying to lose some weight and you've lost a lot of weight. Yeah, people always ask me what's my secret. I hate to say this, but I don't have a secret. I really don't. The secret is exercise consistently and eat smart, eat little less than you usually would. Listen, I would eat a lot. I would eat some unhealthy stuff as well, a lot of it. And I've toned that down a lot over the last few months. So the most important thing is to make decisions, because I've said that before, and someone on Twitter asked, well, what does it mean to eat healthy? Dude, if you've got to ask me what is eating healthy, I can't help you out. You guys all know the difference between eating healthy and not. I've had to, for the first 4 months of my weight loss journey, I've had to eat salad more than I would really like to. I'm not really on that strict diet anymore, because I'm in a much better place now. Still watching what I'm eating and all, not going out as often as I used to. Still go out occasionally, just not as much. But yeah, it's just a matter of really dedicating yourself to eating better, eating smarter, and being consistent with your workouts, your exercise. That's the issue I had in the past. If it's something important to you, you got to make time for it. And another thing, be patient. Everyone wants instant gratification. No, does not happen when it comes to weight loss. You got to really be patient for it. So good luck to you, Jordan. Wishing you the best. And listen, if I can do it, so can you. Chris says, I would like to see Rashard Smith run the ball. He might be the answer. Some people have been saying that for a while. We'll see. Let me go to Instagram. I have not looked at Instagram at all. Let me see what questions are there. Charger Man 68. If Harrison Butker actually made that field goal to start off, yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people haven't been talking about that too much. What do you think about looking Tyreek to trade? I've already mentioned that. I mean, he's got way too much going on, way too much drama. Plus, here's the other thing too. Tyreek has visibly been frustrated whenever things don't go his way. The rumor when Tyreek was traded away was that he wasn't happy in one of the games because Kelsey was targeted 10 times and he was only targeted like once or twice. I mean, dude, we've had games where it's been the other way around, where Kelsey would only get targeted a couple of times and Hill was targeted a bunch of times. That was the beauty of this Chiefs offense. You had a Hall of Fame wide receiver and a Hall of Fame tight end for a future Hall of Fame quarterback to work with. And he made his choice. You've got to live and die by those choices. Josh Allen getting the treatment. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Yeah. Listen, the running into the punt, I mean, that was a fair penalty. The roughing one, and that's not too big of a deal because it was a first and goal play anyway, but the defender was losing his balance and also got pushed behind by one of Josh Allen's linemen. So, yeah, only the Chiefs get the calls. Dude, the Chiefs are 0-2 and were blown out in the Super Bowl, and they still get accused of getting games rigged for them. The Chiefs are literally 0-2 right now, and people still have this narrative. I mean, I'm surprised nobody out there, unless I've missed it, I'm surprised nobody out there has said anything about how they're 0-2 because the NFL wants them to have a nice comeback story when they win the Super Bowl. DR Rosen 2112, please just tell me they're going to win more games. They're going to win more games. There, I told you. People believe everything. Yeah, I know. There is a lot of fake news out there. A lot of fake news. Seriously, like, what happened? Because I remember, I mean, did it have to do with Facebook saying that they were no longer going to fact check stuff? Because I saw the AI picture of Andy Reid and him making a big decision to adopt an abandoned baby. Dude, Andy Reid's like pushing 68 or 69 years old. He's not fucking adopting no baby. Okay. No one in their 60s is doing that. All right. And then if on top of that, if you actually look at the AI images, Andy Reid has hair in those pictures, but people believe that. And then I saw the exact same post about George Kittle adopting an abandoned baby. And then I saw it about Tyreek Hill and Joe Burrow and Josh Allen and Alvin Kamara and everybody else under the sun that's famous as adopting an abandoned baby. It's like, and here's the other thing too. It gets a lot of likes and comments. I actually looked through some of the comments and the people, and I would click on their profiles. Dude, those are bots that are commenting, trying to essentially help push the algorithm out there with these posts to make it seem like these are legitimate. Props to whoever's benefiting from this, but yeah, that's spreading fake news that gets you money these days, I guess. I agree. If teams don't give Fox any info and their telecast sucks when they don't pay Brady anymore to do TV games, well, listen, Brady will always be around. Tom Brady is a big name for obvious reasons. But I still think on Fox or any of these other stations that carry games, you can still tell stories and help paint the picture for these games without receiving inside information. Let me ask you that. Forget about Tom Brady. Think of all the other broadcast crews that meet with teams. How many of them are receiving secret information from teams anyway? I guarantee you none of them are. Now, are some teams going to be a little guarded because it's Tom Brady, a minority owner of the Raiders? Yeah, sure. But I would imagine, like, if Tony Romo, who's with CBS, if he asks Patrick Mahomes the same 5 questions Tom Brady does, Mahomes is going to give the same answer. Now, he might give it a little bit of a different tone because he's got a good relationship with Tom Brady. And listen, maybe he's got a good relationship with Tony Romo too. Who knows? But and I'm not saying that he would give Tony Romo a negative tone. It's just he knows Brady more on a personal level. He's done some things with him outside the NFL. So that's the that's just my whole thing about that. Do you think 1587 Prime will survive with those prices that you shared? Oh boy. Listen, here's my thing. So I share the prices from the night I got to go from the soft opening the previous week. Guys, let me just say this. It's a steakhouse restaurant. Prices are generally higher than normal. If that's not for you, no problem. Like, listen, man, I don't like sushi. So guess what? I will not go to a sushi restaurant ever in my life because I don't like it. I don't need to make a big deal about it. I remember Mr. Beast, everyone's favorite YouTuber. He ate at a restaurant that would cover their steaks in gold tinfoil wrap. and the price for that was like tens and thousands of dollars, guess what? That's not for me. So if a steak restaurant like 1587 Prime is not for you, no problem. Because I got mixed reviews here. Some people were saying the prices are reasonable. Some were saying prices are better than expected. Some saying worse than expected. This is actually cheaper than a lot of steakhouses I've been to, like especially in Vegas. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, Farzine, this isn't Vegas, though." Yeah, that's my point. In Vegas, these things are far more pricier. So in Kansas City, not as bad. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with steakhouses in the KC area. I know 801 Chop House is very popular. I don't know how they compare in terms of prices or just overall quality of the food. But there are some people predicting that, within the first 12 months, and they're a couple of days old now because the grand opening was this week, people are predicting that the interest is going to be there because it's Patrick and Travis and whatnot. And then people are adding to their predictions saying that's when they're going to start to struggle because they don't know who's going to spend that kind of money here in Kansas City. Fair enough. Listen, I'm not an expert in this industry, so I have no idea. I certainly hope they do well. I got to know one of the other owners who works closely with Patrick and Travis, but I think at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that it's a steakhouse. If you thought the prices were going to be comparable to McDonald's or Panera Bread or Fazoli's, I mean, you were setting yourself up for a big time disappointment. Listen, there are a lot of Swifties who are going to go just because of Taylor Swift's drink, The Alchemy. They literally want to go just for that. I think there are some people who are wanting to go. And listen, I'm not telling you to not go or go. I do suggest it. But if you're going to this steakhouse with the hope that you will get a glimpse or meet Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, or that they will bring you your steaks, dude, you are setting yourself up for a big time disappointment. They are not going to be meeting with the public in their own restaurant, because as soon as they do that, they're going to draw big time attention, and it's just that you don't want to do that at a restaurant. The only time they'll ever meet with anybody is in the private dining areas. That's it. They're not meeting with anyone in the public dining area. I mean, not trying to be rude about that. It's just, let's be real. Those are the only people they'll greet at their restaurants. Any high-end A-list celebrity that wants to come by. That's all. Those are the only people they're going to be meeting. Like Travis Kelce's not going to bring you. He's not bringing you the drinks. He's not cooking the steaks and delivering it to the tables. He's just not. But if you want to go and support anyway because you love those guys, yeah, go for it. I mean, that's great. But yeah, there are a lot of reactions to people who are talking about 1587 Prime and how they're going to do with their business. So again, I'm not an expert in this industry. It's in downtown. It's in a good part of downtown. It's actually across the street from the convention center. And a lot of people who go to the convention center in Kansas City will stay at Lowe's. In fact, there's that bridge. And I apologize, I don't remember the street that it goes over, but there's that bridge connected from Lowe's to the convention center, which is very smart because that essentially, that's really convenient for a lot of people that are attending whatever convention. They'll stay at Lowe's Hotel in KC and they can just walk over. They don't need an Uber. They don't need a cab. They don't need to rent a car. None of that. And then there's what do you know? There's a very popular steakhouse owned by two NFL icons right there for you to try out. You got options. How do you like being a content creator for a living? I'm thinking of doing the same. Yeah, I love it. I'm very fortunate. It's a lot of fun. So people ask me, like, because I get questions and comments from like Chiefs pages. They're like, dude, how do you? What advice do you have for me? I'm like, just post good comments, or post good content. If you post good content, you'll get the followers, you'll get the interactions, you'll get the engagement. And if you're monetized, great. If you can get advertisers, great. You can certainly do this for a living. It's not the only thing I do for a living. A lot of people ask this all the time. What do you do for a living? You got multiple businesses, and that's all you need to know. Or as Chief Saholic would say, I hustle in private. But no, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. So for those who care, that's really, I'll go into detail with that. But yeah, I've got multiple full-time jobs. I was mentioning earlier, dude, because we were talking about Tyreek Hill and his situation. Like I said, I've got 0 kids, but I got a shit ton on my plate, man. Yeah. Yeah, because people will ask, like, oh, you're always on social media. I'm actually really not. I've got a team that helps me operate my social media, so it's not just me. Majority of the time it is me, but there are other people who help lift the weight, if you know what I mean. Hill needs to have a deep conversation with the woman who lived in a shoe. Can't hurt. The defense has to humble Russell Wilson and prevent him from thinking he's Montana based on that performance against Dallas. Yeah. It's just, Kansas City had a really bad defensive performance in week 1, and it could have been far worse. They played much better last week. As Chris Jones liked to remind Jalen Hurts, he barely got 100 yards. It's not the defense's fault they lost that game. I mean, listen, you are playing the reigning Super Bowl champions who whiplashed you. You held them to 20 points. If you can hold the reigning Super Bowl champions to 20 points, your offense has to score more than that. And the Chiefs had opportunities. The Kelce touchdown, the Butker field goal, and I know the Butker field goal was a long one. You got, even in the long ones, you got to make those kicks because these games are going to be close for you. I know I'm wearing all white. Shame on me. On a Red Friday. Tony says, calling it now, Tyreek Hill will be a Kansas City Chief again when he signed a one-day contract when his career is over. Probably. Listen, people keep asking, is Tyreek Hill coming back? No. Number one, he's got this legal deal going on and all kinds of drama that it's a pattern. It's a pattern with Tyreek Hill. Financially, I don't know how they're going to make that work. And here's the other thing. If the Dolphins are going to trade Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City, they're going to demand something big. They're going to want one of the draft selections back that Kansas City used from the Tyreek Hill trade, meaning they're probably going to want Trent McDuffie. You can't really ask for George Karlaftis because he just signed a new long-term deal. Trent McDuffie, all he has left is a 50-year option for next year. So trading Trent McDuffie would be more realistic in terms of making that trade happen. But would Kansas City be willing to give up Trent McDuffie to get Tyreek Hill back? I don't think the Chiefs are willing to make that sacrifice. That's the only thing that Miami could really ask for from the Chiefs in order to make that trade work. But again, I don't see the Chiefs doing that. Where's Jet McKinnon? Somebody else was saying that on Wednesday's podcast. Dude, he hasn't played for a couple of years. He just hasn't. And listen, I'm a big fan of Jerick McKinnon. I remember when he re-signed 2 off seasons in a row with the Chiefs, you guys were excited. It was like one of the more popular off-season stories that him coming back was a big deal. I remember he re-signed once in June or July, and then there was another off-season where he re-signed right after the NFL draft, and everyone was excited about it. But I don't know. I don't know why he's not getting an opportunity, whether it's in Kansas City or anywhere else. I don't think he's formally retired either. So we'll see what he wants to do. Think about this for a second. If the Chiefs don't win the division and don't make the playoffs, easy schedule in 2026. Yeah, that's what the conspiracy theorists will tell you. The Chiefs will get the number 1 pick in the draft, and they'll have an easy schedule for 2026 to set them up for a massive comeback story. That's what'll happen. I would much rather the Chiefs extend Rashee Rice than trade or bring back Tyreek Hill. See, that's another thing. You bring back Tyreek Hill. First of all, if the Chiefs can bring back Tyreek Hill, they would have never traded Joe Thuney. Never. And if you bring back Tyreek Hill, you might hurt yourself in trying to extend Rashee Rice, who you probably you're going to need to see how Rice looks in the games that he's going to be available for this season. But after that, I mean, you got a decision to make on Rashee Rice, especially if he stands out and has a really good season this year for 2025 after his suspension. Have you read any of the breakdowns about the Chiefs running stretch plays with slow running backs and Pacheco not having enough vision to make cutbacks? Draft a player who can run the scheme. Yeah, everyone's been talking about this, Chuck, with the running game. Listen, Pacheco, let me start with Hunt. Hunt used to be one of the best running backs in the league, but that is way in the past now. And I think he's the same age as Derrick Henry, which gives some people a little bit of optimism that he can maybe revert back to how he played in 2017 or 2018 with the Chiefs before he got kicked off the team. But Pacheco, I mean, this dude, I remember in 2022 when the Chiefs they got all those draft picks from the Tyreek Hill trade. One of those picks was Pacheco. And as the season went on, a lot of the announcers kept talking about how Pacheco almost went undrafted and kept asking, why did this guy almost go undrafted? And I don't know if that injury last year, the ankle injury, has really set him back that much, but boy, he just does not look like himself. Ever since the postseason, the year of Super Bowl 58, that postseason, Pacheco did not do very well. And last year got off to a good start, but that injury against Cincinnati, since he came back, has not been the same running back. So I don't really know what the problem is with his vision or just his explosive speed that he once had, but we're just not seeing it. Maybe Brashard Smith is the guy you've got to consider for this game. I don't know. Some of you guys have mentioned that. I'm hoping Pacheco and Hunt can be a good 1-2 duo in this game because they need that right now. Big Red doesn't want any more damn kids. Yeah, he's got like 5, I think, and that includes Garrett Reed. But yeah, and he's in his 60s now. Yeah, no one's adopting a kid in their 60s. Cancel ESPN Plus now. Yeah, I've been seeing that. Listen, here's all I'm going to say about that. Regardless of your political stance, I mean, assassinations are never okay. The whole free speech thing is interesting. People, look, we've seen it in sports. I'm just going to talk about sports. I'm not going to talk about politics here, especially with the sensitivity of the subject and everything nowadays. You saw Colin Kaepernick, how he was treated. Stick to sports, stick to sports. You saw Patrick Mahomes was told stick to sports when he spoke out against violence against black people. The same people who said stick to sports did not say that to Harrison Butker. And the same people who supported Kaepernick, Mahomes, and whoever, LeBron, told Harrison Butker stick to sports. It's stick to sports unless we agree, unless our politics are aligned. It's like, listen, I don't think anyone should stick to their industry. If you have an opinion, you want to speak up on something, speak up. I think it's great when athletes do that because you see a different side to them and maybe they become a little more relatable because you agree with them on certain things. Listen, I know Aaron Rodgers says a lot of crazy stuff on McAfee's show, and even McAfee will react sometimes to the stuff he says, but if you do listen to more of Aaron Rodgers, whether it's McAfee or any other interviews long form interviews he's done, Rodgers actually tends to be a more relatable guy than some might realize, or at least give him a chance to understand. Not a lot of players are willing to do long form interviews like Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, I mean, it's free speech unless we agree. And that goes for both sides, man. And people ask, oh, what are you, Republican? Dude, I'm American. I'm a free thinker. I do not care about either. I used to be on both sides in the past. Just over the years, I've just learned, man, this two-party system, it really does not help our country at all. Love the U.S. And I'm a U.S. citizen. You guys know that. Naturalized. Would not want to be anywhere else. Doesn't mean we don't have room to grow. And I think the party system really sets us back. But I'll leave it at that. People are trying to compare 1587 to Texas Roadhouse, 2 different clients. Yeah, and again, it's a steakhouse. And people are saying that Mahomes made a comment that he wanted this to be more affordable. Did he actually say that? Let me look that up. I can't find the comment where he supposedly said that. If you Google 1587 Prime, it's all talking about the prices because they have it on their menus now. And the prices that they had from the soft opening are different from right now. But yeah, I guess people are saying there was a comment made by Mahomes that they wanted this to be affordable, and people are upset because they feel like some people feel like they can't afford it. Because I've seen some comments on my Facebook and also on the local media that's shared this. A lot of people are saying it's only affordable if you can make six figures. Listen, unless you're making millions per day, nobody's eating at 1587 Prime daily or weekly. You're just not. I mean, come on. I don't know who the richest person in Kansas City is that's not famous. I don't think that person's eating at 1587 Prime on a weekly basis. They're just not. Maybe a couple of times a year, maybe once a month if they're really, really rich and wealthy. But these steakhouses are not meant for people to come out consistently. It's for like very, very special occasions. Yeah, some drinks go anywhere from $18 to $25. Again, that's a steakhouse for you. I'm eating at that steakhouse. Their prices weren't bad at all. Okay. Some people don't mind the Demetrio. Hope I said your name right. Demetrio. $155 for beef is insane. Dining at 1587 next Saturday. $25 for a drink. Greed. Will 1587 Prime survive? So expensive, Kathy's asking. I'm cool with a carne asada burrito. Fair enough. Farzine is a gangsta? Sometimes. How much did I love this question? How much did 1587 Prime pay you for that video? $0. They didn't pay me shit. I don't know why you guys think I get paid by some people. And listen, this is not a secret. I will because I was not going to say anything but it's out there. Even Patrick's manager has put it out there, but anyone that was part of the soft opening, they were comped. All I paid was a tip. So the part of the reason Patrick's manager put that out there, Nick Wright was at the steakhouse and he was going to buy everyone at the bar around. He did not realize that any guest there was going to be comped. Now, again, this is not me sharing exclusive information. Patrick's manager, she put it out there. So it's out there that people were comped for the soft opening. It was a friends and families week. A lot of A-list celebrities were there. Patrick had his birthday there on Sunday after the game because if he does it any other day, I mean, it's going to draw an attention. And there are going to be a lot of non-friends there, and I don't think he wants to be around people he doesn't know. Thanks for your info. Absolutely, Kathy. Much love and much thanks to all of you guys who watch and support this. So it means a lot coming from you guys. And by the way, quick reminder, we are going to have the pregame live chat 11 a.m. Central Time, so be there for that. And then we'll have the halftime live stream, and then it'll be a late Sunday night, but we will still do the post-game podcast, and we'll have the video calls turned on for you guys. Even though it's going to be a late night, we'll still do it. Yeah, no one wants McDuffie to go. Has Pat ever had hand injuries in the past? Yes, I think he has. This seems to be minor. Yeah, don't be nervous about it. This is pretty minor because he was a full participant every day in practice. He dealt with some. Andy Reid shared today he had some swelling after the game, but the Chiefs were able to take care of that, and he was able to practice all week. So no concerns there. I think he's had like minor hand injuries, I guess. I don't want to call it an injury because to me, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured. If you're injured, it's a serious situation and it might lead you to either miss games or not being able to play at your full capacity. If you're hurt, you can still play. So I think it's more of just his wrist was hurt more than anything else. I think the QB sneak was more of a knee thing, Joshua. I don't think it was a wrist. Pacheco hasn't been the same since he broke his leg. Think his best days are behind him, unfortunately. Boy, I hope not, man. For a guy who's in his fourth year, that'd be crazy. He certainly has not played like he did in 2022 and 2023. I've mentioned that many times. Turn Pacheco into a receiving back and get him into open space. Carlos says, why bring in Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Well, nobody wanted him on a 53-man roster, so it makes sense to have him on the practice squad because he knows the offense and he's got the experience. I think that's a great guy to have on a practice squad, not on a main roster, on a practice squad. Oh, yep, here we go. Got all political. See, look what you guys made me do. I thought the prices were quite reasonable for a steakhouse. Yeah. And again, I'm not too familiar with Kansas City steakhouses and their prices, but from what I've had outside of KC, it's actually not bad. Not that I want the drama or off-field clown show of Hill. That's a great way to start off the comment, Pat. Would a Jawan Taylor for Tyreek Hill be a closer value as far as contract? I would have to look at the specifics, but those are two big contracts, so I think it would even out a little bit. I would imagine Miami would still want a draft pick, like a really high draft pick, but yeah. Now, is that realistic? Probably not. I don't think Miami wants Jawan Taylor. I don't know who would want Jawan Taylor for that contract. Here's the thing with coaches, whether they're good coaches or bad coaches, every single coach goes crazy when players commit penalties. And Jawan Taylor's committed more penalties than anyone else in the last almost 2.5 seasons. So no one's going to be trading Tyreek Hill for a guy who is a penalty happy player. No one. Pacheco is still a beast and will improve once he stays fully healthy. I mean, is he not fully healthy right now? Like, his injury was almost a year ago this time. I don't know. It's a concern for sure. I mean, you're paying $71 million to your offensive line, and 2 of them are on rookie deals, which is crazy. The most in the NFL. And they're spending almost $12 million more than Denver on the offensive line, which is second most in the league. Denver, that is. The prices are on par with like a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse instead of like a Longhorn Steakhouse. Maybe that's what people were thinking. Yeah. I'm not familiar with a lot of those chain steakhouses. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Where's that? Ruth's. Excuse me. It is at the Plaza. There is one steakhouse. I lied. There is one steakhouse I went to on the week of Christmas many years ago. My parents got a gift card. I'm actually trying to look that up right now as I'm trying to, I can't find it. Where is I think I found it. No, never mind. It's like very close to where Made in KC is. There's like a steakhouse there that's actually really good. But for the life of me, I don't know the name of it and can't remember. I don't remember where exactly in the Plaza it was. It was like many years ago at the Plaza. Our defensive line is atrocious. Do you see it changing anytime? This is a really good question. The defensive line has been a serious concern. I thought that was going to be a strength of Kansas City's. I think Ashton Gelati's doing good for a guy that's a rookie. George Karlaftis is not getting much done. Chris Jones has been quiet. You're paying 2 defensive linemen. You brought back Derek Nottie. Dude, the defensive line is barely getting a push. Omar Norman-Lott goes in there and gets a sack on Jalen Hurts. Took a while for that sack to happen, but boy, it does concern me how much time in the pocket opposing quarterbacks have had against Kansas City. I'm just like, dude, you've got good coverage, obviously. Otherwise, the ball would have been thrown by now. And once, 4 or 5 seconds pass, receivers have to improvise. And this is not something a lot of teams practice. This is something Mahomes and Kelsey are really, really good at. So when receivers improvise, that's bad for defensive backs because they don't know where everyone's going to go after that. And if the pass blocking is still good, quarterbacks are going to find someone. Kansas City has to improve on that defensive line. They started getting the Jalen Hurts more when they started blitzing more. That's great. And that's been Kansas City's bread and butter on defense. But you've got to find a way to do it without a blitz as well. I'm all for getting to the quarterback however you need to do it. But if you ever want to have success with just a four-man pressure, dude, that defensive line has to start winning battles at the line of scrimmage. It's not good. Love all your ideas and info. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Charles Aminhu, Tillery, Naughty, quiet. Yeah, Dana's quiet. Dana's not even going to play this week. How does it stack up with Morton Steakhouse? I don't know. I could not tell you that. Ruth's Chris is good. Okay. A couple of you guys vouching for Ruth Chris. I got a question for you guys. What's the best sports bar in Kansas City? Give me like 2 or 3 good sports bars. I don't care if they're local chains or national. I love Johnny's Tavern. That's a good place for food and pizza, or food and sports. Obviously, I like their pizza. Chicken and pickles also really good. I've been there once for a Royals game. I'd like to go for like a college football Saturday just to see what the vibes are like. Or is Chicken and Pickle considered a sports bar? I think it is. But I want to know from you guys, what sports bars do you like in Kansas City? Again, it can be a local or a national chain. I don't care, but I just want to know what you guys think. Oh man, there's one near downtown OP, Maloney's. I have not been there for years. I do want to visit that, see how that's doing. Ever since like the pandemic's kind of just been in the past now, there are a lot of restaurants I've been wanting to go back to just to see, because some restaurants, post-pandemic they've taken steps back, let's say. And there are some that have improved since then. So yeah, I've not been to Maloney's in a while, so hopefully they're still good. I still get annoyed when I remember Chris Jones bringing his agents to watch the game against the Lions. A lot of people have been mentioning that lately. Dude, whenever someone's not doing well for you lately, people start mentioning all the negative things about them. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. That was weird. And then he signed 2 days after that. What do you know? How come the Chiefs brag about how athletic the offensive line is, but Andy Reid never runs counter? Why is that? I don't know. There are a lot of things Andy Reid does that I just don't get. Andy Reid was calling timeouts before halftime. And Tom Brady, listen, a lot of these color analysts, they know the game of football, but Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He was questioning, why is Andy Reid calling timeouts? And listen, Andy Reid's play calling has certainly been in question many times in the past, and I think even more so now than ever before. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question. He's too busy posting fashion clothing. Who is? Who's posting fashion clothing? Other place. Okay, I've never been to Other Place. I think they have 2 locations. Blue Line, I've never been to. I want to go. I need to go for a Golden Knights Blues game, I guess. Unless I want to get my ass kicked. Kelly's I've been to, but never during a sporting event. Dude, Guy's Pizza is fucking good. That is really, really good. I love Guy's Pizza at Kelly's. You know what they have? They have a pizza. This is not a joke. They have a pizza called the Dildo Pizza. Spelled DILL space DOUGH. Trust me, that is some damn good pizza right there. Banana peppers, pickles. Yeah, man. It's pretty damn good pizza. Might be my favorite. I wish there was one close to where I lived. But yeah, that's pretty good. Andy's end of game management has gotten better in recent years. See, I felt like his clock management was starting to get better, but more recently it has not. I don't know, man. I have a lot of mixed feelings on some of that. Andy Reid's a great coach. No one's questioning that, but there are certain decisions Andy Reid makes that make you scratch your head, like the play calling these last two games. Why are we just having running backs run straight into Jalen Carter? Why? You're not winning that battle. I respect that you trust your guys, but come on, man. Kingsley Suamataia is not beating Jalen Carter, Andy Reid. Come on. You know that. Thank you, Jaron. I appreciate it. What's up, Danny? Yeah, let's get a win Sunday night. Oh, Charles Omenihu. Yeah, I guess Charles Omenihu has not taken kindly to some comments on social media. People have been talking about how he's blocking people. I don't know, man. Anyone going to Bargatze at T-Mobile tomorrow? No. I'll be honest, I don't know who that is, but sounds like you're excited, so have fun when you go tomorrow night. Got to run the ball. Yeah, I'd like to think the running game is going to be better because the Giants are the worst at stopping the run. If there was ever a time to get the running game going, this Sunday night's a good time to start. I agree with that. Okay. Let me see. Are there any questions on Instagram? I know I don't do a good job keeping an eye on Instagram. No way we take on that contract for $30 million. No. That just would not happen. Curtis Golden asking about the run game. Yeah, I think I just answered that on Facebook. So yeah, to answer your question. Okay, I think I'm caught up on the comments. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. Appreciate all of you guys for joining me for this episode of the Red Friday Q&A live chat. If you guys enjoyed this, please share it, like it. If you haven't already, obviously you guys have been commenting and that means a lot. Thank you so much. If you're just a lurker, appreciate you guys as well. Again, a reminder, 11 a.m. Central Time, we're doing the pregame live chat. Join me for that. Then during the game at halftime, as soon as the second quarter ends, as soon as the first half comes to an end, we will go live and do our quick halftime live stream. And then after the game, we will do the Chiefs Zone podcast live. I'll have the video link for you guys to call in for the video chat, and we will chat it up afterwards. It'll be a late Sunday night, but I've got nothing to do. I know some of you guys will, and that's understandable. But if you're going to be around Sunday night after the game, come join us for the post-game podcast, and we will have a lot to talk about, I am sure, regardless of the outcome. So I will talk to you guys Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm Farzin Vasugian. Thank you all for joining me for the Red Friday Q&A live chat. Have a good weekend.